Day in Boston when a businessman notices his watch has stopped. He enters an office to make a presentation, only to suddenly fall dead. Soon people start falling dead all over the city, causing all types of accidents on the streets. Later in the University of Chicago, geophysicist Josh is teaching his students how sound frequencies work. He's interrupted by 2 FBI agents, who take him to Washington, D.C. in a private jet. They also bring Josh's friend and colleague Serge, a nuclear weapons specialist. The duo is shown a room full of bodies and General Thomas explains what happened earlier. Josh concludes all the people who fell dead had peacemakers, which Thomas confirms. Both scientists assure him that whatever did this can't kill healthy humans, and Thomas dismisses them, not sharing any more information. In London, a child notices a dead pigeon on the ground before more and more birds start falling, dying when they hit vehicles or buildings. The ones still flying are losing control, crashing through windows and hurting people. The crowd panics and rushes to hide as chaos takes over the city, causing many car accidents and even making a bus fall. The incident appears on the news and Josh learns that this has happened in Australia and Japan last month too. He remembers that birds navigate following Earth's magnetic fields and immediately puts his team to work, asking them to search for all kinds of weird incidents in the past 2 years while hoping his theory is wrong. In space, Major Rebecca and Commander Robert are getting their shuttle ready to land. Suddenly NASA loses contact with them and get it back after a few seconds, only to discover the shuttle has gone off course. Somehow all their navigation tools failed and now they're about to crash into Los Angeles. As it flies very close to a stadium, Rebecca checks the files and does some calculations to land in a canal. She gives Robert precise instructions, and the shuttle touches the water, but it gets some damage as it slides under the bridges. Thankfully, Robert manages to make it stop right before it could hurt someone. Sometime later, Josh brings his research to Dr. Conrad, saying it's about the end of the world. Conrad reads it all and tries denying it because he can't believe his own studies could have missed this. After a disappointed Josh leaves, Conrad takes out some confidential files from a safe. Back to Rebecca, she meets with Thomas and learns it's over for her crew because they crashed the shuttle, but they're interrupted when Conrad calls Thomas. Rebecca goes outside and joins a crowd watching bright lights in the sky. Meanwhile, Serge and Josh are getting drunk in a bar when the FBI agents arrive to drag them back. Soon Josh arrives at a room full of important army men and Conrad, who wants him to explain his research. After announcing Earth will be destroyed in a year, he explains why by using fruit. The electromagnetic field that surrounds the planet is falling apart because Earth's core has stopped spinning. Without that field, in the new few months planes will start falling, anything electronic will be fried, superstorms will happen everywhere, and eventually the sun will cook the planet. Josh demonstrates this by burning a peach. Thomas wants to restart the core, and Josh says it's impossible because the core is the size of Mars. It'd be trying to jumpstart a planet. Not to mention they don't have the means to dig that deep into Earth. However, Conrad has an idea. Afterward, the group flies to Utah, where they meet a doctor nicknamed Braz. He isn't happy to see Conrad, saying he stole his research 20 years ago. Braz still cooperates and shows them a huge machine that breaks rocks with ultrasonic waves. When he turns it on, the machine digs a huge hole in a hill in just a few seconds. Then he grabs a little rodent and puts it inside a box before turning into a smaller version of the machine. The waves don't damage the box, but they drill the titanium behind it. Then Braz shows them the animal is okay while explaining the box is made from a new alloy he created called unobtainium. It's capable of withstanding extreme pressure and converting heat into electricity, which means the deeper and hotter it gets, the stronger it becomes. Braz thinks it'll take him 10 years to finish a ship and jokes he would need $15 billion to do it in 3 months, but the military is ready to pay. Best they can do. The ship is being built with detachable sections in case anything gets damaged at any moment. Soon other countries will also send people to help with the project and be done as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Finch has programmed a virus bot that searches for keywords related to strange incidents or the project and wipes them out to keep the secret. Once they have the first navigation prototype, the mission crew starts doing test runs, but they always fail because they can't get along and argue over who must give orders. Even while everyone is resting, Rebecca continues practicing how to pilot the machine and gets frustrated whenever she crashes. Robert is supportive, reminding her that she's talented and that leadership is about making both good and bad calls. One afternoon, the crew notices a lightning superstorm coming and Finn runs as it hits several buildings and statues at the same time. After a few moments, the city is nothing but ruins on fire. The team starts working faster and harder to finish the project. When they're ready, they fly to the South Pacific, where it's raining heavily. Braz names the ship Virgil, after the poet who led Dante through hell in the Divine Comedy. The crew boards the Virgil, and after a short countdown, the ship is finally launched into the ocean. The first few miles go smoothly, and the crew discovers that whales are while they wait for the end. As the first bomb goes off, Josh remembers that unobtainium can convert heat into energy, which means the ship is a big solar panel that could absorb the heat from the explosion. The duo starts changing the ship's wiring while the bombs go off in sequence,